Hello, everyone. I am Abby Honecker, President of Partner Success at Pink Sky, and today we're going to talk about how you can stop wasting ad spend, that your consultation room is the real funnel. So most med spas, wellness facilities think that they have a marketing problem when actually they don't, right? They have an operations, a systems problem. You don't necessarily need more leads. You need to plan better with the ones that you already have. We want to maximize every opportunity with every new lead that walks into our clinic, right? When they walk through that door, we have a system, we have a plan. If you are adding marketing spend, promotional spend to these appointments, to these leads, they already are costing you money. So if your consultation process isn't built to convert, your ad spend is probably being wasted. You're leaking financial revenue. You're leaking that revenue by not having a plan. So let's really look at what is the issue and how can we maximize this effort. Again, maximization is going to be our term throughout this little video on how to really focus on what we're spending our money on. So a lot of times when we're talking to marketing companies, we're obsessed with cost per lead. We're looking at our click-through rates. We're looking at creative performance. We're looking at our speed to lead, our conversion rate to invoice, conversion rate just to appointment, our show-up rate. All of those should be tracked and are vitally important. And any good marketing firm, marketing manager is going to have that on their radar, and they're going to be making sure that these are kept in to normal ranges or excellent, right? We're excelling at this. But what we're not really focusing on, and what I see the most when I engage with new clients or we work with clients here at Pink Sky, is we're not looking necessarily at what happens once the client walks through the door. What is that front end revenue? What is that opportunity that was missed? Or what do we gain? So what I like to focus on, the consultation process is our highest ROI moment, right? In your entire business. If you actually take the time to leave your business, to step out, go to a clinic, sit in their chair, you want what they are offering, right? So marketing creates the opportunity, but ultimately your operations processes, playbooks, SOPs, your team education, your pathways, your scripting are extremely important. What does that mean? So anytime that we're looking at a client, a lead that has come in from a marketing opportunity, meaning we've paid for that person to be there, we are in the red as soon as they walk through that door, right? So we need to make sure that we give them every opportunity, every pathway in our clinic to get results. So what do I mean? First, we have to educate. We have to educate the team to make sure they truly understand, what are we spending money on? What are these offers that these leads are seeing? What is it that we are expecting? They need to be able to speak to it as if they created it. So education on our marketing strategy is extremely important for every team member in our clinic. Then we need to make sure that we've created the pathways and scripting. What is that? Have you ever created that with a consultant or a team member or a manager? Ultimately, I have a template that I create, and if we have a front-end offer, and say that front-end offer is your first wellness consult, only $199, I am going to make sure that my team knows exactly what that girl math is. So what are they saving? As low as, right? Only. What did they get with that? What is the goal of this? We're paying for these people to come in. Maybe it is your first Morpheus treatment is this price, or RF microneedling. Again, there's a lot of ways that we can engage the clients to come in. It's not always from Meta either, right? It's from social posts, it's from model calls, it's from Pinterest, it's from referrals. There's lots of ways they come in, but we need to have these offers, these front-end offers, ready and available, and we need to be able to maximize them because the patients want what we have. After you can speak to that, you create your ads template, your pathways, and your scripting. Meaning, if someone's coming in for this service, we're offering it. What is the offer? That's the first thing on the template. Secondarily, what's the girl math? How much do they save? As low as, right? Monthly payments, our cherry financing. What does that look like? And then also, what are we going to be looking at for next steps? How do we maintain results? Which membership would they benefit from this offer? What about our take-home products for at-home care? What does that look like for this offer? We want to make sure that all of these are on this template and that your team is trained on them. Next step, What are our complementary treatments? Meaning what treatments complement this service? Is there a program that they should be enrolled in to get the maximization of what the actual pain point was? So there's a lot that was said in here. And that's a lot of times I hear from clients and I hear from providers and I hear you that there is a nuance. Every patient is different. We need to be able to customize this, of course, and absolutely. However, there are just some generalizations of things that naturally fit. All right. And we want to make sure that we have the knowledge to put the pieces of the puzzle together. I don't micromanage people, I micromanage systems. So understanding how our financing options that we're giving people a pathway, that's another pathway to getting the services that they want and need to be healthier, to look better, to feel and look the way that they want, right? Look the way that you feel the way that you look. So remember, this isn't something we want to wing. We don't want to just tell our providers and team members, well, just talk more about it. Let's define it for them, right? Because you get one chance to make a first impression, all right? And most teams aren't doing that. So this is how you differentiate yourself amongst the plethora of clinics that are in your area and med spas. So your revenue really leaks when there's no clear pathway. There's no package structure ready. There's no better, best options. There's no financing conversion, no membership integration. There's no take-home strategy, and there's no rebooking system. Once I go through and I look at my new lead touches, when I'm doing a deep dive or audit into any of the clinics that I fractionally manage, that I consult with, that I work with in projects, I always dive into what these are. And I do a deep dive and I pull a random 10, 20, depending on where it is. And I look, were these things positioned properly? Did they get enrolled in this? Were they enrolled in our rewards program? Were they discussed? Was there a membership recommended? Did they buy any products? Did they rebook? All of these things are really important. And then you can actually look into who in your clinic is really doing it the best. All right. So what happens? They come in for $12 Botox special. And ultimately, what happens? They get enrolled in a membership. They leave spending $600, $700, but then also they get rebooked, right? There's not that nickel and diming of services. We're not a day spa, right? Where the client can come in. We're a med spa. We're a wellness facility. We have prescriptive care, right? We're not a one-off. And yes, there's going to be that percentage of appointments that are a one-off, but ultimately that's not the goal. The goal is to put the bigger picture here together. So how do you do that? So we want to make sure that we're talking about the next 3 to 6 months at a minimum. Where do we start? Where are we going to go? And how do we maintain those results? And then we need to position ourselves as the authority in there by prescribing what they need and telling them what we need. I did a secret shopper once, and ultimately I went in and I told them my concerns. She made a couple recommendations, but said, where would you really like to start? And I said, well, you're the expert. You tell me. She was like, well, what's your budget? And I just was dying. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. This is absolutely the wrong way to go about running your business, to be an expert in your field, right? You build this process for them. You educate them on what you have. You don't have to sell in wellness and aesthetics. We all want it. I say it over and over again. And any of you that have watched my videos or have heard me speak know that I always say you don't have to sell in aesthetics. If I walked into your clinic or wellness and said, you can have anything you want, Abby, for free, what would you do? I would take it all. Now, some people might not take it all, but you would take most of it. It's not about what they don't want. It's always about what they want, and they want everything. So stay focused, keep yourself out of their wallet, and really look at what's best for your patient if money were not an object, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving that long-term care plan. And in all my clinics, I require that they understand what that looks like. We have to build out a treatment plan formula. And what I mean is what is required on every care plan for every new patient. Are you requiring that you recommend an IV, that you recommend a supplement, that you recommend their at-home skincare? Are you recommending a membership? Are you recommending a program? Are you recommending next steps? What does it look like for your clinic to define it so that it truly is an experience that is yours and yours alone, but no opportunity goes missed? So I always say this again, I'm so repetitive, but memberships are so 2016 when it comes to, oh, you get this free and it's one size fits all. We're really looking at programs, right? Even packages that are just a package of 3 or a package of 6 can be embedded in programs and care plans, but they're not necessarily what you should be recommending for people, right? So ultimately, if you incorporate your memberships and combine them with your programs, you're really going to build out something that gives true lasting results for your clients. However, if you are recommending packages, we're not recommending one single service, right? They should never do that. We're recommending the 3 or 6. We're built in the savings. We talk about the girl math. We anchor the pricing. And if they're doing a package, they're going to be here over a period of time. So which membership would benefit them to help them save more money? You want to make sure we talk about the girl math, guys. You break into as low as only. People truly hear things in 3 different ways. One way is, how much am I going to save? The second way is, what do I get for free? Added value. The third way is, what are the low monthly payments I can make so I can get everything that I want, right? So there's 3 different ways you can position it, but every single thing that you're working on when it comes to putting together your front end offer, when it comes into creating what you're going to be promoting across all of your social channels, when you're looking at your in-house promo pricing, maybe even offers for your members. I don't really do monthly discounts. I don't like those, but you want to make sure that you're breaking it down. Girl math, low monthly payments, making sure what is your added value. If you don't have an add-on price list and you don't have built into your protocols what add-ons would benefit this treatment with a special pricing, that way your providers, your front desk could be offering this when they see this service on the menu, on the schedule, you're missing opportunity as well. So you really want to stack value. So you need to understand it's not just about the treatment. We want to look at what do we stack to get better results, and then create that pricing pathway of discounts, saving, added value is one pathway. The other pathway is education. Why is it beneficial that we complete the entire program? We add this onto your package. We get you into that membership, right? We have you take home that retail skincare. What are the complementary treatments that we're going to throw on that are going to give you better results, but maybe they are complementary? Also, do you have a back pocket deal at your clinic? Right? Like a lot of my clinics, every new client gets membership pricing at your first visit, right? Some people get 10% off their first visit as a back pocket deal. Some people will get a free $50 off at their first visit if they go ahead and buy the full treatment plan. You always start with best, and this is your prescriptive care, right? Money is no option. If they have to move in a certain way, that's where you present your memberships, your financing options. That's your second. If you're still not able to move in that way, you go to best, and then at least good. And good is that they purchase something, they get an at-home product, they get rebooked, they get in a membership. Just purchasing a one-off that day, to me, is a failure, right? So this isn't upselling. It's really completing their treatment and care plans and giving them more. Now remember, all this is happening on their first visit. So now you can understand why the training is so important in this aspect with your team. Putting together your playbooks, creating your SOPs, do your education, make sure all your tech and all of the things that they need in their tool belt they have, and then watch them shine. Watch their revenue per hour go up. Watch their utilization go up. Watch your memberships go up. All of this will happen if you put this into play. So how do you maintain results? Obviously, memberships and rebooking are really important. Conversion at first appointment for memberships can sometimes be hard unless you're a membership-based clinic. Earlier, I said memberships are so 2016. They're not if they're done properly. There is a revenue generating activity is training your team on memberships and how to educate patients on which one is best for them or why it's important to get in and setting up truly great memberships. But just having a membership or just putting together a package of 3 and not building it into your systems, you're not going to move it, right? There's going to be no value there. So, not to dive into this, but create those ad pathways and scriptive templates for each thing that you're throwing dollars towards. If you're spending money on it before the client even comes in, you better be able to maximize that revenue because you're already at a deficit when that patient walks through the door. There's no reason to pressure the patient. There's no reason to put pressure to define what they're going to purchase before they come in. That's where the customization comes in as you as the provider. I always say that my front desk team, my concierge team, my patient experience team, they're my recommenders. They are my storytellers. They are, oh, I had that last week. I loved it. Oh, my mother. Oh, this is really popular here. Oh, you're going to love this if it's the right fit for you. They are prescribing care. It's your job as the provider and the owner or manager to make sure your providers have all the tools where they can come in, make the recommendation, and then give them the pathways to participate in the care that's been prescribed for them. So we want to make sure that you elevate this, right? Elevate this as a priority. Again, it's not just that you don't know how to offer marketing. It's not that your marketing team is even bad, right? It's not that necessarily you're not doing one or some of these things well, but it is the bigger picture. It's the philosophy, right? SOPs for consult flow, scripting and role play. Huge proponent of role play. It's financial training. Everyone in your clinic should know how to use your calculators, your dashboards, your KPI tracking, right? With Loom now, it's so easy to have AI KPI tracking of your numbers, your reporting that integrates with your EMR. You know, there's no excuses really to not understand your numbers and to be able to use that to set goals for your team and really align with what's working in your system. All right, so it's not just teaching you strategy, it's implementing structure that's going to maximize every opportunity with your team. So let's wrap up here with a couple of immediate things that we can do that you can, for wins. You can send us, you can contact us. You can go to Abby_Honecker at Instagram. You can go to pinksky.life. You can comment here on this video or reply back to an email. However you've come in contact with us or seen us, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. What I would recommend is that you create your packages for every campaign. You're going to write your consult scripting. You're going to create your financing opportunities with your only low monthly payments. Girl math, what are we saving? Require rebooking before checkout and train your team weekly on one offer at a time. And as you add new offers, give that weekly time to educate them and create your ad pathways scripting, your protocols with all of your complimentary treatments, memberships, packaging, recommended retail, and take-home products. Start there. And I know that seems like a lot, but pick one offer because honestly, here is the truth. You don't need to spend more on ad spend. You need to spend more time creating the pathways, the SOPs, and the playbooks for your team to make sure that they're able to maximize and educate. Confidence is going to be truly key when converting a new lead to become a lifetime loyal member client at your clinic or med spa. So if you'd like to request our playbook for our ads, pathways, and scripting, you can just send us a message or reply here. And if you'd like to book a strategy session with me, hit us up on social media, on Instagram, Abby_Honecker. You can book a strategy session to learn more about how we can implement this to really drive your marketing strategy through the roof. Thanks so much.